I'm turning you down.
Why'd he ask you out on a date?
Oh, he's just in there. Hi everyone, welcome back into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly. With me is my co-host extraordinaire, Mr. Paul Friedlander.
Good to be here.
And we also have a return appearance from Mr. k.glacy.
Yes.
It's great to have you with us.
It's great to be back.
Yeah, I recognized you in the green room as soon as I saw you. We had your book the last time, right?
Yes.
And today you're here to talk about energy.
Absolutely.
And that is a real good subject to touch on here today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially being with y'all because you both have such great energy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, almost to a fault, right?
No.
Well, Kurt, you've taken on a new venture. And you are, and again, the name of the company is?
I'm working with Erus Energy.
Erus. And solar energy is just more or less just getting going in Florida, correct? To some extent, in terms of it's opened up a little more?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit more awareness about it now, and things have gotten a little bit easier for it, but there are still some things that haven't really changed. You know, there's still a high acquisition cost to get involved in solar, but things are getting easier, and
Right.
and of course, the more rooftop solar systems that you see, the more people are aware of it.
So what part is, I'm sorry,
No.
what part of it is becoming easier now?
There are a number of things. So first of all, there's more choices in the marketplace. And for example, the company that I'm working with, we're actually using American-made panels and we're using American-made microinverter systems. But there's also a number of other options that are out there. So that's becoming easier. There's more choices. The problem is a lot of people don't, it's not like buying a car or a house. You can't just say, oh, that's pretty and I'm going to take that.
Right.
There's a lot to it, which means that, I don't know how to put it nicely, but it's easy to get snookered.
Oh, that's a nice way to say that.
Yeah, so it's been my mission is to educate people. I don't look at my competition as who is my competition. I look at what's the competition, and the competition is really, I hate to say it this way, is ignorance. So it's my job to go out there and help people learn what they can about how these systems work, and then make the best choice for them. And solar isn't for everybody.
You know, that's true. And education is so key, especially when you're going to be investing the kind of money that you're going to investing. So for our viewers today that maybe have heard about solar power, what can you say to make it really simple for them to actually understand in case maybe they don't?
Well, I think the first thing to do is to see how quickly I can give you a course in how solar works.
Right.
So first of all, is basically there are panels on your roof, and when the sunlight hits them, they create direct current, so DC current. However, our houses use AC. So we have to go send the power through something called an inverter, which switches it to AC, and then it's in a usable form for our house to use. Anything that we produce from your rooftop that isn't used by your house goes out to the grid, and now in Florida you're able to do through net metering, you get credits for that. And when your rooftop isn't producing enough energy, then you pull in from the grid and you're using strictly power that you didn't produce. Now, since Irma, a lot of people are really interested in battery systems.
Oh, yeah.
So a little difference with this is when you have a battery system, you have the rooftop, which goes to the battery.
Right.
The battery goes to the inverter, to the house, or to the grid. Now, you can actually save additional money this way. These systems were created for California, Arizona, places that have peak metering, so in the middle of the day, energy costs more. If you have a battery system, your house always, by default, pulls from the battery.
Oh, okay.
So even if the grid is up and running, you're still pulling from your battery. So you're using as much of your own energy first, and then you go to the grid when you need it. Conversely, the energy goes to your battery first, and then the excess goes to the grid. So you're using more, saving more of your own and using more of your own. But again, that's still kind of expensive to do. But those are a couple different options of how that works.
Well, in comparison to, say, Duke Energy, I'm wondering. I'm just curious, or can we not even go there?
No, we can. If you're thinking about the price of your own energy, it's. The way that you figure out the cost of solar is different from the way that you figure out.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
And we could go through this, but it would take a lot more time than we have in this. So you can call me afterwards and go through this. Basically, the way that a good solar installation company is going to work is we're going to look at your average bill. So, and ideally you've been in your house a year or more. So if you've just moved into your home, wait, calm down, there's no rush, the sun's not going anywhere. But you really want to build to your actual usage. And the idea is that if we can get you an offset between what we save on your home as far as reducing your power consumption first, and then we produce on top of that. If we can offset your power bill by 80 to 90%, that's really good. Because you don't want to hit 100 or overproduce. Right. Because the way that most of the things work, at the end of the year, if you've actually generated more than you've used, yes, power companies will buy it back, but in most cases, they don't buy it back at retail prices. They're buying it back at wholesale prices. So your cost of actually, putting the system on your house outweighs what you would be saving at that point. The point is for solar is to actually reduce your consumption or produce as much as you can to offset your bill, but stick, you and I, it's power isn't an investment at our level. That's for the Duke Energies and for the Ticos and Withlacoochies and all of that.
Now, Kurt, there's also these systems. I know they can be pricey, quote unquote, but there's also tax credits and other types of things, are there not?
Yes, there are right now.
Okay.
The way that the law is written right now is through December 31st of 2019, there is a 30% federal tax credit. So it's not a deduction, it's a credit, dollar for dollar credit, but it's a non-refundable credit. And here again, this is probably going to take more time to describe than we have for this episode, so call me, or call Paul or somebody else. We'll do a subsequent show or something. But basically that means is you have to pay enough in taxes or have enough of a tax liability to offset that 30% discount. Now you do have up to 5 years to claim that, so you can roll it over from one year to the other. But this is where a lot of people get, I'll use that word snookered again. This is where a lot of people get snookered saying, well, we're going to install this system and the federal government's going to give you 30% of the price of your system, so your payment's going to be greatly reduced. Well, you don't necessarily get that right up front. And there are a lot of people who can't get it all anyways, depending on if they're retired or disability or what have you. So you have to be very careful and talk to someone that really knows what they're doing before you even understand the finances of it.
It makes sense. What do you think?
Well, you're in Florida, and unfortunately we have an older population, and unfortunately, as Kurt mentioned, those types of things were snookered or are amplified here in Florida, especially with our elderly population.
Oh, please, Paul. The older people are the smartest ones I know.
Right.
It's people my age and your age that get snookered.
That's true.
Especially your age. I'm just kidding.
Especially my age. But no, that type of stuff does, even after Irma, all the construction and that type of thing, it's a shame, but it's a fact of life, unfortunately.
Well, and we're seeing that a lot in this industry. I mean, I love this. My wife and I have had solar on 2 of our homes now, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get involved in this. It's something that we're passionate about. But it's one of these things that since with Proposition 4 and Amendment 1 last year, there's been a lot of people coming in and I don't want to be offensive to anyone, but we're seeing what a lot of what I'll call solar carpetbaggers coming in, that they really don't have a presence here. These are people that will sell, really go door to door and knock on people. Right. And in today's world, I don't know why anyone would answer a door, but that's something different.
Right.
You know, those of us in gated communities don't have to worry about that so much.
No, I don't know about that. I don't know.
But the idea is, you know, you don't want a stranger. You don't know if they've had background checks or whatever coming.
True.
You need to deal with not only a company that's reputable in the way that they install, but also the way they deal with you from up front. And in my opinion, I'm not speaking for my company at this point. I'm just speaking my personal opinion. I step back from things like that. You know, another thing with the reason why I wanted to work for Erus is anyone that touches your house, our installers, our salespeople, we're all employees. We are all eligible for health benefits. You know, we have background checks and all of that, so we're not going anywhere. We're not just coming into the area, see what we can sell, and then disappear before warranty issues come up. You know,
and so that's good to know long term, especially when people are. I mean, we've been in our villa for 20 years, so you know, people that have some longevity in their home and they're going to stay there for a while. Of course, they want that kind of service.
Sure. Well, and the benefits, you know, of just being members of the chamber and all that. Obviously, we're all mutually committed to where we live. You know, we work with, we love the people around us. You know, this is the way to do it. So.
Well, it makes a big difference. How long have you been with the West Pasco Chamber?
In total, probably 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
Almost 4.
Yeah,
Nice.
14 different companies. No.
Yeah. No. Well, there was a little bit of a hiatus because of a car accident, so I was technically part of it, but I wasn't visible.
So, how has the chamber helped you? I know it is like one big happy family.
Well, besides being interviewed by you, which is the absolute best, even if Paul has to be here. So.
No respect.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, why should this happened
really
last time too?
Today.
I don't know what happened.
I expected different.
He doesn't expect it different.
But you know, the chamber is fun, and if anyone's watching this and they're thinking about different chambers to go to, it's like this is how every interaction I have with chamber members are. Where we have a good time. There's really people genuinely care for each other and each other's businesses, but we're also watching out for our community.
Yes.
You know, we want to make sure that everyone does. It's in our mutual best interest to hold each other accountable, and it makes a huge difference.
It does. It truly does. I believe we have a break coming up here, and we're going to do that.
Thank you again for coming out today, man.
And yes.
And for the abuse.
Good luck, and we'll get a hold. What did you say?
I said, and for the abuse.
And for the abuse.
The abuse is free.
We have to charge him for that. I think he likes it. We're going to take a break, and if you want to hear more about solar power, this is your gentleman to give a call to. And we want to thank you for joining us here on My Chamber TV. We will be right back.
Guys, welcome back to My Chamber TV. Today we're here representing the West Pasco Chamber of Commerce. I'm Paul Friedlander, and I'm here with actually the host, Miss Barbara Marvell Kelly. But we have a special guest with us today. He's been on the show before, but he's a good personal friend. He is probably the epitome of what goes on in Pasco County, because if you've been to an event of any sort, this young man's been there taking pictures, posting them on Facebook, making all of us look good. But he's also got a very special cherry that's within his heart. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about wheelchairs for kids. David, tell us about wheelchairs for kids and a special event you got coming up this Saturday night.
Wheelchairs for Kids is a program that helps children with different needs. Not just wheelchairs, that's just one small part of what we do, but special wheelchairs, exercise chairs. Some kids are able to walk better just by getting the proper exercise bikes and things like that. And then we do home modifications or car modifications, things that we don't even think are that important, but being able to get a child in and out of a vehicle is extremely important. And we do home modifications. Taking a shower for a kid. We had one child that had to be washed off in the backyard with a hose because they got too big to fit in the bathroom. And so we went in there and put a new bathroom in, wider doors, and they were able to really help the children.
You spoke about that story, and people are probably thinking about the car too, but talk about, I know I've heard a couple of stories about what limitations if they can't get a wheelchair or a vehicle into the car. So what do? They take the kid into the car, and they're limited by whether they can take him anywhere, correct?
Well, when they're 2 or 3 years old, it's not a problem.
Right.
It's when they get to be 100 pounds and 120 pounds for a mother or grandmother, a lot of times grandmother, to lift that child in. The first event I did with Wheelchairs for Kids was just a rack on the back of the car for a wheelchair. Yeah. So I saw what kind of impact that it had for the grandmother, really, and the mother, because the grandmother really has done a tremendous amount of help. She was just so grateful for that, for a little wheelchair rack on the back of the van.
Yep.
And,
and I remember I was one of the earlier events, I think, when we were over at the dockside or whatever it was then, and it was that special stand-up wheelchair. I don't know how early that was, but that was one of my first experiences, and what an evening.
Well, for most kids, they're only allowed one wheelchair every 2 to 3 years, and if you're 50 years old, you're not going to do anything to your chair. But if you're a 10-year-old kid, 3 years in a wheelchair is going to really tear that thing apart. Yeah. And so this particular wheelchair was kind of neat because it could grow with her. As she grew, you could adjust it to make it higher for her, and it's very exciting to watch the kids. And then the flip side of what we do is that they become part of the Wheelchair for Kids family. And Madeline Robinson, the director of Wheelchairs for Kids, has been able to do special things with the kids. Twice a year now we go to the wrestling matches, and we go up to the community center. The Emily Arena gives us the community, and they bring us food in. It's all donated. One of the wrestlers, Titus O'Neill, Thaddeus Millard, he loves Wheelchairs for Kids. He comes up, talks to all the kids, knows most of the kids now, and it's just a night out for the kids. And they actually bring their whole families. And she now takes some water skiing, if you can believe that. Yes. Water skiing is watching these kids. Water ski, I mean, this is something that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing for these kids, and they try to make 2 runs with them, and the kids are they're elated because they get to do things that the rest of the people do. A couple weeks from now, we're going to go on the iFly over in Lakeland, where they actually, like a parachute, I mean, like you're skydiving.
Oh, my.
And some of the kids will be able to do that.
Oh, wow.
And they take them to, the Bucks get involved with them too. Don't some of the other sports teams get
We go
involved
to
with
some of the training camps, and when we do that, the players will actually stop and talk to the kids. It's amazing what we do. And of course, every Christmas we have a Christmas party at the Clearwater Aquarium with Winter. Yeah. A handicapped child it's an attraction for these kids.
Right.
And one thing that Madam believes in is the family, usually it's just one child that has a problem. So, but the whole family suffers at that point. Not suffers, but they have to put up with that child. So when we do the Christmas, the whole family is invited. Right. We give gifts to any of the children, and it just makes a big difference for the
now
kids.
You have a phenomenal. It's one of my favorite events, and gosh only knows we have so many fundraisers and different things in the West Pasco area. And even though this takes place in Pinellas, because of David's influence, I would say it's safe to say that 60, 65, maybe even 70, 75% of the people that show up at Ruth Eckerd are from Pasco County.
Yes.
And it's just talk about that event, because it is so neat. And I know it's getting close to being sold out, but I also know if people can't come to it, I believe, do they have an opportunity to still bid?
They can go online, they can bid. Madeline Robinson has been doing this for 7 years, but even before this, she was already involved in so many different private charity functions that she knows what she's doing. Like this year, the main attraction is Sting. Not just you don't just get to go to the concert, but you get to go to the concert, you get to sit up front, and then you have a private meet and greet with Sting. In the years past, we've had Paul McCartney, Billy Joel, Hell's Kitchen, so many. This is one of the premier things. But besides that, she has vacations. She's got like 10 vacations now, from Key West to San Francisco. You can bid on 2 or 3 nights at these luxury hotels. Round trips on Southwest. I think we've got another airlines that's round trip tickets. And then the baskets we have there, they just line up one side of Ruth Eckerd Hall. And if you've never been to Ruth Eckerd Hall, upstairs, not downstairs, but the room they have is just tremendous. And Ruth Eckerd Hall has been so good to Wheelchairs for Kids. It's good. We still have a few tickets left. I just talked to them today. So if you want to go to Wheelchairs for Kids with the number 4.org, you'll be able to go on there and navigate your way to buy some tickets.
The tickets are $60.
$60.
And I'm gonna speak a little bit here, because I got to tell you, I know a lot of you out here listening to this have probably been to all kinds of foundations and all kinds of fundraisers, but this one is really special. You'll have people there dressed in nice jeans with button-down shirts, all the way to suits. It's just, there's no formal dinner. They have both butler pass and phenomenal tables with food.
Nice.
And they got a DJ there. They've got the MC for the live auction. The kids are up dancing and having fun. All the siblings, as well as the ones that are affected.
Neat.
So I mean, it is really, if you've not been to this one, you need to go online.
Mark Wilson will be our MC this year, and the Wilson family. I don't know if you heard that, but they've formed a foundation.
No, I didn't.
They did that last year, right before last year's event, and Wheelchairs for Kids was their first foundation to give money to.
Oh, nice.
And so their family has adopted Wheelchairs for Kids family, which is.
Would you like to talk about some of your bigger supporters while we have some airtime here?
Coastal Creations is going to be there. Deborah Diaz is on there. Rooms to Go, Tico, and right here in West Pasco is Scott McPherson and Kim. They've always done a great job for us. And Custom Mobility is another. Not only does Custom Mobility sponsor us, but they also help us with prices for the kids. And anytime we need modifications, things like that, they're always there stepping in to help us. Guys, it really is. It's a phenomenal organization. There's a lot of them out there, but this one's really special, what it does. And when you see the kids, and I know we had that special luncheon where there were a couple of surprises. I think Custom Mobility may have been one of the ones. And then, like he said, you watch the parents or the grandparents actually break down in tears when they get surprised.
I can imagine. I can just imagine.
She just had one, and some of the things that we had, the Bearded Villains at Red Robin and Countryside. I wasn't able to make that one, but they had like 30 or 40 of these guys, rough-looking guys and all that kind of stuff, and they presented this kid with a special exercise bike. Nice. And he kept saying, "Is it really for me? Is it really for me? Is this really mine? Is it really mine?" And Madeline was telling me that 30 of these bearded, rough, grouchy-looking people were in tears because of what was happening. It really is very touching when you see the impact that.
Now, at the same website, is that the same place they could sign up to do live and silent? Can they do live and silent if they're not going to be at the event?
Absolutely, they can go on and bid. We really encourage you go. The auction is live now. You can start bidding now on all those things. Fabulous. If Sting is your thing, then
just the wheelchair number 4 for kids.org.
.org. Yeah.
Okay.
That is Don't even get me started. I'm trying to hold back because when I think being a grandma myself, and I can't even imagine. And you're right, when you talk about the families that are involved, I mean, it's full-time caregiving.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Full-time. So even they get a break and you're helping the whole family. I mean, that's fabulous. And they've been around for how long?
Only 7 years.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, we're already helping 75 to 80 kids a year.
Yes.
Her goal was 30 a year, and now we're up to 75 and 80, and before very long it'll be over 100. With Madeline's skills and the way she's able to stretch a dollar, that was one of my main concerns about who do I want to work with. And I watched her, and I watched how she handles money and how she beats and pleads and whatever to get the job done for the kids is just amazing.
Yes.
So we're able to take a dollar and stretch it to $10, $15, $20 to help the kids.
That's the way to do it.
And guys, before we leave, I know we're probably getting close to time. As I mentioned before, weddings, special occasions, if you need photography, this guy can do it. And if you're concerned about your financial future, you can always talk to him about Primerica also. He's been involved in Primerica for 37 years.
Long time.
37
Yep.
wonderful
That
years.
says a lot.
A man of many talents and a big heart about it.
Oh, you cannot go anywhere in this community, these charity events, this man is always there. And speaking of photography, I have to give my shout out. He did mine and Debbie Dawson's real estate headshots, and they were very nice, very professional. So I thank you for that. But this Wheelchair for Kids is just an amazing event, and I wish you more and more good luck all the time. You want to come back on the show and let's talk about that and anything else, David? I mean, it's really exciting. So thank you for coming on board today.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Partner, thank you, man.
We're going to take a break right now, and we have more great guests from the West Pasco Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for being with us. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to My Chamber TV. If you only knew what goes on during the break here, we do have a lot of fun, don't we? Barbara Marville and my friend Paul Friedlander and my dear friend, Miss Judi Pobst. What a great surprise to have you here today.
Well, thank you. It was a surprise to me also.
There you go.
Surprises are good.
They are.
Judi has been in the real estate industry for many, many years. Very high qualified with Keller Williams. In fact, she holds the real estate seat in my Keep It Local group right here at the studio. So it was just exciting to have you on, and we've done some videos together in the past. But you know, Keller Williams is a really top-notch realty group. Tell us why you joined. I know you have a cute little tagline and catchphrase and all that. You've just got, you're the full package.
Well, when I started in real estate, I really, like many people do when you don't know much about real estate, if you have a little bit of success going forward, you think you know it all, and you can do it all. And I had my own brokerage called Realty by Design with my my best friend Sandy Honeycutt. Yeah,
oh,
and I used to work.
Sandy.
Paul and I were reminiscing about when we first met. Sandy and I were in the Bank of America building in an executive suite, which is a virtual office. You don't really have an office, but you tell people you do, and you meet them there, and it looks official. And we met Paul there one day and did some advertising in Homes and Land magazine, and that I guess it was about 15 years ago. It was really
wow. Yeah, somewhere in that area.
Yeah, and everything was great until the market dropped, and I realized that I needed to find a support system. I needed more resources. I needed a band of people around me that believed in me and that knew what they were doing and could help me survive in tough times. And that was nearly 11 years ago. In February, it'll be 11 years since I joined Keller Williams. I've never regretted it. I now have my own location. It's a satellite office. I am still with Keller Williams. I'm under Nikki Ubaldini, and I'm very happy to be there because I know that I have the giants that have my back.
And that's what you need.
I do, and it's a company that believes in giving back, believes in cooperation and win-win or no deal, and I feel very comfortable in that environment and very pleased to be a part of it.
That's very,
Thanks for
very
asking.
exciting. No, that's very exciting. Keller Williams has such a wonderful reputation, and for them to hang with you and embrace you in those tough times, because as we all know, real estate is up, it's down, it's up, it's down. It is.
Yeah.
When it's up, it's really up, it's great, it's awesome, it's wonderful. When it's down, it's like, oh, please help us here.
Yes.
So that's wonderful. So you just joined the West Pasco Chamber.
Yes,
I did, because while I did move into my new location, it's been, believe it or not, or I can't believe it's been almost 2 years ago, I haven't really officially come out of the closet, if you will. I have not really started promoting and advertising my Keller Williams office in Pasco County in West Pasco. I just didn't have the support system behind me that I felt that could really do it right.
Sure.
And I've recently been very blessed to have a new addition to my team. Miss Tisa Dixon has joined my team. She is my executive assistant, but she's really a change catalyst. She is the backbone of it. I've known Tisa for 2 years. I met her in a book club, and we were reading The Millionaire Real Estate, which is Gary Keller's book, and she was right there in the first row, and that's how we met. And so she's a really a strong believer of the culture of Keller Williams and the systems and processes that Gary teaches. And after 2 years of kind of getting to know each other and talking, she joined my team recently, and with her along with my 3.5-year-old, she's not 3.5 years old. Margie Pritchard is my assistant that's been with me 3.5 years. So together, the two of them really provide me with a backbone where I can say, all right, I'm ready to come out and really advertise this location and start becoming a bigger part of the community. It's so important to me.
You're so right about that, and I mean, you really are part of the community. What a great picture of you there, and just you can see you love what you do and do what you love, and it's all in your heart. But to have that community teamwork is so different today than it was many, many, many years ago, where you were a realtor and you were like pretty much flailing in the wind, all on your own, doing the best you can. Training is critical when you get under a broker. Tell us about the training, because I know for a fact it's very, very extensive.
Well, it is top notch. It absolutely is. And I'm actually right at that point now that I have my support system in place and I have my location in place. I'm at the point where I'm really ready to grow. Now, I want to tell you that we have almost, I believe it's 400 agents out of our main office in Palm Harbor. So I have a lot of support. I have a lot of team members that have been on board that I can call upon to help me. But in terms of my own team, Judi, Pobst, and Associates, that's it. It's just me really, and my girls. But we are now reaching out and really looking to grow in that department so we can help more families.
We did a ribbon cutting for you today.
Yes,
West Pasco Chamber.
It was phenomenal.
And,
I'm so grateful for that.
We got an opportunity to meet a long-time friend that's moved over from the East Coast to be with you. Has she not?
Yes, that's right.
Oh my!
The gal that started all this trouble, the gal that actually was my first real estate mentor that got me into the business, has now officially relocated to Gulf Harbors, actually. Yeah, and will be. She's a broker. She has her own brokerage in Melbourne, so she has some things to finish up there. But within a couple of weeks, we're hoping she'll be officially a Keller Williams member and a part of my team. So I'm going to have another superstar. I mean, my mentor is now going to be a part of my team.
That's so cool.
Come full circle.
The way that comes, circles back to you. And honestly, to be in real estate today, it's so critical to have the training, work with people that you can trust, and that really does have that backbone, because I have heard by several people that there are some that aren't getting training, and they will call someone to ask someone how to do it. I don't even know who it was, but they were told by their broker to look up something on Google. And I thought,
ouch.
I thought, really? That exists?
If it's on the internet, it's got to be true.
It's got to be. I mean, that is carved in concrete.
Well, really, it's really, Gary Keller says we're a training and consulting company that masks itself as a real estate company.
Right.
And we have training at our office in Palm Harbor every single day. So whether you're a brand new agent or you're a very experienced agent, there is something for you that's going to elevate you, help you become more skillful. And there's a team of resources. So you can, there's classes, but there's also masterminds and brainstormings where sometimes they're just as valuable as classes, because you share each other's experiences and learn from one another. It's very, very deep. The training runs very, very deep. And if anybody has any interest in knowing more, I will hook you up with our team leader, Jessica Fox-Wimmer, who was there today, and she will make sure, and I make sure you get the training you need or the questions answered, or so that you're doing things the right way.
Yes.
It is absolutely essential in this world.
Yes.
There's so much to know about, there's so many ways you can get in trouble if you aren't compliant with real estate law, ethics, and we have a really good understanding of the contracts and what you need to do in order to have a smooth transaction, and we're all about that. As well as knowing that everything you create in life starts first in your mind and your heart. And that is where all training starts at Keller Williams. That's why I was so drawn to it in the first place. Because it's sort of like the law of attraction. What you believe in and what you think and what you do turns into your life. It all happens inside first.
And
so you have to work on your inside, to get the outsides that you're looking for.
And anybody that lives in this community is very, very familiar with with both Gary and Nikki.
Absolutely.
Who have been Nikki's. I remember back in the day at a Women's Council Realtors meeting where Nikki came in and did the teaching.
Really?
Yeah, it was at Steak and Ale, believe it or not. That's how long ago. I was now 19.
She's now a certified trainer, of course, on a very high level, and goes all around the country teaching. That's her passion. She loves to do it.
Isn't that wonderful? It's so good to hear that. I mean, years and years ago, that wasn't out there.
No.
When I first got my real estate, well, I was working for
Me
a builder.
too, really.
And when I see and hear what goes on now, and you can just see the quality of the brokers and what they're able to give and what their goals have been. And at Keller Williams, they've obviously achieved that all around. I don't talk to anybody that gives a downside of Keller Williams.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. But I also want to say that even if you're not with Keller Williams, the training is available to anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, I may show up down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a very dear friend.
We have a full calendar. Pick your class, pick your topic, and come check it out.
I have a friend that's joining that office.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. Richard Force.
Very
He's just
good.
going through his school. And, of course, our dear mutual friend, Michelle Spalding was there for a while.
Yes.
Yeah. So, that's all good.
Well, you mentioned a broker telling people to look it up on Google, look up your answer. I also know brokers telling new agents, well, you should really go to Keller Williams. Come back to me after you're trained.
Okay.
Well,
and maybe you will, maybe
that's
they won't.
True.
But,
that's true. That's true.
Because there are a lot of different models out there. And
it's growing. At a time when there's a real estate boom, you see a lot more, of course, new agents coming into the business, but you also see a lot more brokerages open up. Mm-hmm. I should know because that's when I opened mine originally back in 2003 or 4. Yeah. And then I went,
But you know, those things happen. They happen. So ride the crest of the wave while you can, and when you make that right decision. Oh my goodness, we only have 1 minute. I could talk to you all day about this.
Oh,
but
thank you.
You're building your team now. You just had your ribbon cutting. If you're thinking of either buying, selling a home, check this beautiful lady out because she is all that and then some from the inside out. She shares her heart in her business and her personal life. And hey, if you're in business, come to a Keep It Local meeting, and you can have a little meeting with her right here Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock.
And also, in the last 10 seconds, we are having an open house on Saturday at the Lighthouse, the corner of 19 and Florimar, from 2 to 4.
2 to 4.
And everyone's welcome. Come check us out.
You got to check out this building.
Come see Come feed the fish.
I've seen it from the outside.
We have a moat, that goes all the way around it.
I know, you told me that. That is so precious.
We're going to have fish food, so you can feed the fish.
Aww.
Kids for games, and of course,
and you're working on getting the lighthouse up and running again, too.
The lighthouse is going to be flashing.
I love it. What good luck.
Yeah.
Just enjoy.
You're the lighthouse to your right house.
Oh, my. Say that again.
There you go.
The lighthouse to your right house.
On that, we're going to take a break. Good luck, Judi Pobst. We love you. Thanks for being with us.
GDD, by the way.
We'll be right back.
today.
Oh my.
Guys, we're back. And as always, we're having fun in between. While you guys are away, we're having a blast over here. One of these days, you'll have to come sit in the studio and watch us.
In the live audience. Yeah.
Exactly.
So who are you?
Audience. I am Paul Friedlander, and I am co-hosting with my buddy, Miss Barbara Marville Kelly. And it is My Chamber TV, the West Pasco Chamber of Commerce Day. And we have an awesome friend of ours here today. We have Miss Melissa Fahy with Good Samaritan Clinic. She is the CEO. Is that the correct title?
It is.
Awesome. Every once in a while, even a blind squirrel finds an acorn. But
well, I'll tell you,
we got some fun stuff coming up, and it's right around the corner. So let's start right into that.
We're diving into Festival of the Trees.
Festival of Trees. Let's hit it, girl.
You know, it really kicks off the holiday season. It's like that week before Thanksgiving. It really sets the tone. We have a great preview night for friends and family where the kids come. Santa Claus is there. They write letters to Santa.
Precious.
People can walk around and preview the 40 beautifully decorated Christmas trees and wreaths and kind of see what it's all about on Tuesday night, which is on the November 14th. And then we have the main event, which is the auction, which is on the 17th of November.
Friday.
Yes.
Cool. Very cool, from 6 to 9 at the Columbian Event Center.
Thank you. New venue for us.
Oh, it's so beautiful over there. That is, I can only imagine that being all decked out, decking the halls for the holiday season, for the Christmas season, and for those in the community. Tell us how this works with the Festival of Trees, basically.
So we go out to different businesses and we ask them to adopt a Christmas tree.
Okay.
They pay an adoption fee to reserve a tree. So then we get all of the Christmas trees donated to us. And the businesses come on a predetermined day. They all come at the same time and they decorate their trees. And then we actually have the King and Queen Chasco, the honorary governor of Pasco, and the nurses of the year are the judges.
Oh.
And they go around and judge all the trees after they've been decorated, and we award the blue ribbon. And it's just a fun week. We have lots of different private parties that are happening at the Columbian Event Center throughout the week when we have it completely decked out as a winter wonderland. And that Friday night, again, is the main event where a professional auctioneer is standing on a ladder and taking the highest bidders. And I can share with you, last year we had a net profit of about $28,000.
No kidding.
And with those profits, we are able to save lives, Barbara and Paul.
Yes.
Truly make a huge difference in our community. So people are coming, they're bidding on the trees, purchasing them that night on Friday. Saturday morning, Nomad Moving comes, wraps all the trees, and delivers them to the new owners.
That is so fabulous. Now, let's talk about, you're talking about saving lives. Let's talk about where the money goes.
Absolutely. So at the Good Samaritan Health Clinic, we're a 501c3. We receive no federal funding or state funding, so we rely on grants, donations, and fundraisers to sustain our mission. You know, we've been in business since 1990, and our mission is to provide health care to people in need. So it's Pasco County adults that are of low income and have no means to pay privately. And this is all volunteer doctors, volunteer nurses, pharmacists, dentists, people like you and I to answer the phones. My goodness, it literally takes a village to support the clinic. We're so proud to be a chamber member because the chamber gives us great visibility. It allows us to go out and do some super networking and meet new friends and perhaps new sponsors and donors of the clinic. And at the end of the day, you know, about 3,500 patients rely on our clinic.
Wow.
And my goodness, it's pretty remarkable work.
Melissa, if somebody doesn't have the time to volunteer nor the wherewithal to actually donate money, what are some of the other things the clinic could use?
Absolutely, Paul. Actually, on the back of our friends and family flyer that we have, it's also on our website at www.goodsamclinic.org, is our wish list. Because my goodness, right, we can turn dimes into dollars. So if somebody donates medical equipment to us that they have used, crutches, walker, wheelchairs, breathing machines, anything like that that you are no longer using and it's gently used, we will clean it, sanitize it, and get it in somebody's hand that would otherwise be without. So we rely on those types of donations. Medications, people donate medicines to us if they are still sealed and in the package. We can certainly reuse those in our licensed pharmacy. And again, you know, cleaning supplies. We need somebody to come and help us with building maintenance. We need many hands make for light work. This morning I was actually plunging the toilet. So we need lots and lots of help at that clinic, whatever needs to be done. So,
and guys, you'd be amazed. I'm looking at this list and some things that, again, that's why I asked, you know, if you don't have the time to volunteer, if you don't have the wherewithal to write a check for $50, $100, $25, whatever, things as simple as 35-gallon garbage bags, coffee, regular and decaf, napkins, paper plates. The next time you go shopping, pick up an extra package of napkins, extra package of paper plates.
On BOGOs especially.
Return address labels. And John's got it up there.
Oh, thanks, John.
8.5 by 11 copy paper. Stuff that you may have at the house.
Exactly, and you're not asking for much.
you know, it all adds up.
It does add up.
You know, and if we had to purchase those things out of our limited budget,
right,
that means somebody wouldn't get health care. So again, by everybody pitching in and donating and assisting us with our mission, we're able to make a huge footprint in our community.
And you do, you definitely do. And you've been with this for how long?
With the clinic? For 11 years.
11 years. So Melissa's very, very dedicated. And you were just on our village show.
Yes.
Last week. Yes, what an honor. What an honor.
I know.
And guys, the tickets for Friday night are $30 or 2 for $50. And children are what, 6 to 12 or $5. More importantly, you know, I mentioned about David's event on the 4th. This is also a really fun event because even if you, again, if you don't have the wherewithal to bid on a tree, it is fun to watch the bidding go back and forth, to watch 1 year I remember Steve Farrell.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that.
Standing behind Min Mai, and Min keeps bidding, and he's got no idea Steve's behind him going like this.
Driving up the bid.
Drove up the bid. Some crazy. Everybody in the room's laughing except for Min because he didn't know Steve was behind him. So it really is a good time, and they don't only have trees. They've got the full size trees. I don't remember if last year you had some of the smaller ones. We got a beautiful smaller one still in our that we keep out year round. We don't have the lights on all the time. And we bought we bid on 2 beautiful wreaths last year. So guys, it is an evening to have some fun.
We're actually adding a new revenue stream to the venue this year, and we're going to do baskets that will have tickets to Busch Gardens or maybe some signed Lightning memorabilia or other things that maybe you can purchase and give for holiday gifts to your friends or family. So we're trying to come up with different things to keep it fresh for everybody, realizing if you buy a tree one year, you're certainly not going to keep coming back and buying a new tree every year, but we're trying to...
You usually have goodies that night. I think Rose's always has some hot chocolate and stuff for everybody.
We do. We have Rosie's Bistro. We have Dulcet Lounge there as the bar. Community Service Council, Team Farrell, Tanglewood, Daycare, Benet's, School of International Beauty, Serve Pro is there. HCA Bayonet Point and Trinity Hospital are going to be a sponsor this year. Duran, Beam, and Farrell, Deborah Diaz. Our print sponsor is 72-Hour Print. Deliveries are by Nomad. And, of course, our headlighting presenter is Friendly Kia.
Yeah,
nice.
And guys, if you weren't there, I don't know if it was last year, but John actually bid $1,000 on a tree and then gave it to one of the children there that was in a wheelchair.
He did.
It's the Hello Kitty tree, yes?
He has a very giving heart. Yes, he does.
That's so great. I can't thank you enough for coming on. Good luck. It's going to be another fabulous event. So thanks for coming on the show and sharing all that. And we hope you get a chance to go and participate. And if not, you can always get a hold of Melissa and see how you can help in other ways. Please. So we're going to take a brief little time out. Thank you, my dear. Good luck and happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
And we'll be right back.